Hello, hello. Today we have something sort of an antique. This is a really, really old palette. It's not that old, but it's pretty old. I feel like I purchased this palette back in, I want to say it was 2021. So I've had this palette for about like the past 4 years and have not tried it until now. It was kind of, I think, like a splurge of the moment. This is one of their, I guess, really, which is weird, but one of their like last big kind of colorful collabs that they did. They did a collab with it was a candy. What were those called? Like the Sour Patch Kids? They did like a Sour Patch Kid collab, and then they did this Lucky Charms collab. I love Lucky Charms. It's one of my favorite cereals still. It's because I love the marshmallows in it. And so I've finally, as we're getting towards the end of summer, I finally decided I should just try this palette, just pull it out now. I've kind of been hoarding it, I guess, in a way, because I loved Lucky Charms, and I just guess I kind of also forgot about it at the same time, but I finally thought to pull this out. So here's the outside packaging. You have your information in the back. It says, swipe on this rainbow of color for magical look in the wink of an eye. From shooting stars, yellow to clover green, these matte and shimmer shades are ready for endless fun and inspiration. And you have all that there. Now, at this point, you probably can only buy this palette if it's like a reseller, but I thought it would be fun to review it anyway, because at this point, you're not going to find this palette most likely anywhere. I doubt if you could even find this palette at like a Marshall's or a Ross. Like, this is just such an older palette. I just have so much makeup. But part of that, having that hobby, is you get to try it, and if you don't like it, you can pass it along. So here's the front. There is a mirror in here. We're going to cover up that mirror though. And the mirror is surrounded by this really pretty like rainbow around, and the palette itself also very rainbow. Much more green leaning, as you can see here, which makes sense because it's supposed to be like, oh, leprechaun, Lucky Charms. But I do love that these colors come from the color story of the marshmallows in this this theme of cereal. So you have like the balloon, you have the heart, you have the shooting star, leprechaun, the horseshoe, the blue moon. You have names like cereal milk, the unicorn. It's a really colorful palette. I don't really have like very rainbow themed palettes. That's not something I go for. If this was back in the day, like 2019, 2018, where I pretty much only had just one palette, and that palette usually was always some sort of rainbow palette with a bunch of colors in it, this would have been, you know, a really great and amazing palette. But I don't know if it's because I'm coming off using the MAC palette that my friend Brew just bought me, or the fact that I also just used the Trixie Mattel. I'm also using the Trixie Mattel palette right now. Spoiler. There's, what else am I using? I feel like I used something else too recently, and it was very colorful as well. And using this, like, I'm kind of half and half on it. There's some shades in here that just work really, really well, and there's other shades that don't, but my difficulty with this is I don't know if it's just because it's an older palette, because the issue is that some of the shimmers are just very dry. They're very dry, they're not as impactful. Some of the mattes as well, like this one being the most obvious. Do you see like this kind of like, it's like discolored almost. I got nothing out of her. But I don't know, I'm like, can I blame the palette if I didn't use it for 4 years and it was just sitting there? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I want to really blame Morphe for some of the shadows not using, and I'll never really obviously know, like, was this always the formula? Was it the formula from the beginning? Or is this because I waited so long to finally try it out? So, for now, out of nostalgia, out of kind of not really having any other palette that looks like this, I'll keep it for now. I can definitely still see myself eventually in the future probably giving this away, but for nostalgia purposes, like, there were some good looks in here, and I think that from working from these shades all the way over to the green, I think it progressively got better, and a lot of the shades ended up being a lot nicer. But I'm just going to do just a couple swatches. This is just for fun at this point. You can't really get this palette unless you really look for it and someone's selling it. But I just want to show you guys what I mean, because you have a shade like this shade right here. It's called Hearts, and it's very, like, not giving us much. It's a really, really light pink, and it kind of just floats away. Well, you can see the ghost of it. You can see a little hint of it. But this doesn't really do much. She's not really there. It is so, like, no pun intended, like light. Like, I know it's a light shade, but it's literally not really there. So that was probably the worst shade in here. But then you have other shades in here that are like really beautifully pigmented. Like you have Playful over here. I love a mint shade like this. I used this yesterday, and a shade like that, like look at that pigment. So it's not about it being like a light color, because look at that. Like that worked well. This is a beautiful color. So some of the shades in here are still good, and then there's some shades like this where, what the hell, right? So there's that. This red was also still very beautiful. I don't know if I want to swatch that right now. Let's maybe do, well, I guess let's do it. Let's just do it. Let's do it live. Like, look at that. Look at that pigment on that red. The red bloom. Very pretty. Like, you know, see, like some of these still have pigment and the other ones don't. Like, look at my finger. She's gonna be stained now. Let's do, like everything in here was pretty much, it wasn't bad. Here's Shooting Star. You know, I love a yellow. Shooting Star, also not that bad. Not the worst, not the best, kind of in the middle. But pigmented enough, right? It's a little more than a kind of water painted color. A bit more pigmented, but not too pigmented, not too bright. I think the shimmers in here are also a bit lacking. We have a shade like this one, Pot of Gold. I really had to dig in there to get any color out of it. Let's look at Unicorn. I also didn't like Unicorn very much. They're very dry shades. And just not very impactful. At this point, it's like they've almost become satins, because they're just not really impactful at all. Especially for a shade called Unicorn, you would expect a lot more. This shade is called Unicorn. Girl, you can barely see her. Is that why it's called Unicorn? Because unicorns aren't real, and that's not real. You can't see it. You can't see things that aren't real. Like, what the hell? But then you have other shades in here. Like, was it... I know Imagination was beautiful. This still feels beautiful. This is a beautiful, still very solid shimmer. So again, I don't know if this palette was always like this, or if it's because it's been sitting there, but like this shade is still good. And then we have, I think it was Charmed? Charmed, also good. Still a very beautiful emerald green. It's very pretty. Let's see, those. And it's pigmented enough. There you go. Maybe a little bit more on the green if you want it a little deeper. It's a little bit more of a transparent kind of green, but you know, it gives you enough to play around with and have depth in your looks. So you can see here, like some of these shades worked really well, some of these shades didn't work very well, and that's why I've kind of been up in the air whether or not I want to keep it. Ultimately, my motto is if I have any hesitancy to giving away a palette, I will hold on to it a little longer, just because I don't want to have any remorse after giving away some palettes, which has happened in the past before. Very rarely has it happened, because usually when I say, you know, I don't like this palette, it's a pretty like solidified fact that I do not like this palette. And while I don't know if I would think about picking up this palette again necessarily, at the same time, there's still some love for the nostalgia of like the Lucky Charms and Morphe. For some reason that really gets me, and for that reason I'm going to keep it for now. But at the same time, I can totally see myself down the line, who knows how close in the future, maybe passing this on to someone who I think might really love playing with all these colors. So you know, this is sitting at a C grade level, but let me know down below what you guys remember of the old colorful Morphe. Morphe felt so colorful before, and now Morphe's giving very clean girl makeup. I haven't bought any real Morphe in a while. Like, I've gotten those little Morphe palettes that I reviewed on my channel. They have like 6 shades. The formula's a little better, but I don't know. What are your thoughts about Morphe? I am keeping this palette, but other than that, y'all have a great day.